So we will start with a 10 and the man leading the Saxons attack this weekend. A little over a year ago, Freddie Burns was making a dream international debut in front of a packed house as England battered the All Blacks.
Freddie Burns, that confidence is there for all to see.
But the progression graph has not perhaps continued upwards as he'd have liked. His form's attracted a lot of comment this season. Others have come through to stake their claim for the white shirt. And there's obviously been a lot of speculation as to his future, having recently announced that he's moving on from Gloucester at the end of the season. But fresh from flying the cherry and whites to a glorious away win in France at the weekend, the fly half feels the buzz is returning and he can't wait to show it on familiar territory on Saturday night. To start, first of all, with you and last weekend, it looked like you were playing with a very big smile on your face once again. How big a victory was that for Gloucester in terms of your season so far?
To score 5 tries down in Perpignan, I don't think many teams do that, so it was an enjoyable game and yeah, hopefully something that can sort of kick-start our season now. And
a cheeky little drop goal from you as well, just to make sure that the deal was done. Did that feel like you back in business and doing exactly what what you know you can do?
Yeah, I mean, I felt I made some good strides against Munster the week before, playing that sort of running rugby and sort of run first, kick second sort of mentality. And yeah, then the Perpignan games, everything seemed to go pretty well. There's a couple of good kicks from hand, and like I say, the little dead duck of a drop kick that goes over, you're always going to be happy with that. So yeah, it was just good to get the win and feel myself again and be confident and back playing the way I want to play.
It sounds as if it's been quite a tricky couple of months for you. I mean, have you felt off your game, and can you put your finger on why that might be?
Well, we had a slow start to the season with Gloucester, and you can almost try too hard sometimes to try and put it right, whereas now I've just gone back to that natural, just sort of heads up, play what I see, rather than trying to drill into it. That's the game I like playing, heads up, having a look, and like I said, it worked at the weekend, so hopefully I've turned a corner now and can keep performing on that level.
A lot of people have sort of put what you've just explained there alongside your sort of contract negotiations. Do you see any synergy between that, or are they very separate for you? Has it never really been about where you're going and where you're playing?
You learn a lot about yourselves. I've learned a lot about myself over the last few months. Obviously, the announcement last week is a big weight off the shoulders, and hopefully that can aid me back playing the way I want to play. But sometimes it's a case of just playing badly and just have to keep knocking at the door till you find your form in. I'm feeling, like I said, back to it now, and I'm now looking forward to the weekend's game. What sort of a reaction have you had from the King's home faithful, having made your decision? I've actually been very humbled by the messages I've got. I was expecting a bit of a tough time, but I mean it when I say that I love playing for the club. It's a club that they've given me everything, and they've helped me get to where I have now. So it's come that time now where I feel it's right for me to move on and seek another challenge. And I'll keep giving my all for Gloucester till the end of the season, and hopefully now with the Ameling quarter-final we can get a good run in and maybe end in a bit of silverware.
And when do you think you will announce that you're going to go to Leicester?
No comment.
Are you now settled with where you're going, or is there still a decision to make?
I feel that I owe Gloucester an awful lot, and that's where where I'm going to apply myself for the rest of the year. I'm not worried about what's happening next year. I just want to get back playing well. Obviously, we've got the game this weekend for the Saxons, which I'm massively looking forward to, and I want to get back into that Six Nations squad and then be on that summer tour as well. So I've got a lot more to achieve at Gloucester before I think about elsewhere.
So in terms of this weekend, then obviously you've got the Rose back on, and it is for the Saxons. Have you had any sort of conversations with Stuart Lancaster, and what is he looking for from you this weekend?
You don't become a bad player overnight. I think it's just a case of getting some confidence back, getting a bit of game time in, showing that I can manage an international game going into the Six Nations. To be slightly under par this year has been frustrating, but it's just one of those things you've got to learn to cope with as a player, and my desire and hunger to be in that England squad, especially being 18 months out from a home World Cup, is something that I'm desperate to be involved in, and the sooner I can perform better and get back in that Six Nations squad, the better.
Well, if there are bits of his game that he wants to work on, I should think the poker face is right up there as well. Not his very best in terms of media training, but beginning to work his way back to his best as a player, yeah. Dowie. For you, has the drop-off for Freddie Burns been symptomatic of Gloucester's struggles, or would you point it more at some issues that he's been having personally?
I think it's a bit of both. I think every player goes through a drop of form. It just happens. I don't think the Gloucester front five have helped. I mean, they've only won, I think, one game in their first 4 in the Premiership at home, when you should be comfortable, you should be relaxed, you should be trying a game. And of course, he's going to be compared with Farrell. But for me, he's just dropped now underneath Myler and Ford because he's been trying too hard to try and create things off a platform that unfortunately wasn't there. Like, he's just running out of support. But as we know with the lad, he's got a heck of a talent. He's got something that Farrell can only dream of, absolute pace off the mark. He's got great vision, he stands flat, so he's an alternative. So it's up now to Lancaster. You know, he's got all the skills, all the tricks in the book. It's up to Lancaster to decide now which way do England want to play. Do you want to go a Burns way with maybe a Ford exactly the sort of same, or a Farrell way which is a bit more pragmatic with a Barrett and a Tuolangi type thing that just will crash the ball up, get you in a position and then kick your goal. So this is a perfect Six Nations now, perfect Saxons game against the Wolfhounds to see these lads perform.
Given where England are right now, how much do you think they need a fit and firing Freddie Burns?
Yeah, I think every international team needs, you know, alternatives, kind of 2 or 3 lads vying for the position, especially your key positions as a 10. And, you know, I think there's been a lot of talk about his form, but, you know, all halfbacks go through peaks and troughs and, you know, everything goes through you as a halfback. So it's kind of, you know, you can't get away with it when you make mistakes. But I think he seems like a level-headed guy, and, you know, as you've talked about his contract negotiations, that obviously affected him as well. But, yeah, I think, as we've talked about, he offers something different. You know, he attacks the line, he brings the centres onto the ball, and, you know, he brings the wingers on. And I think England going forward to a World Cup, you know, they need all the options they can get.
Yeah.